Good morning or afternoon. You already know my name. We're just going to get into it. I'd like to discuss, because I had a conversation with a friend, right? And me and him were debating on whether who was in the right during the Galactic Civil War. Was it the Republic or the Confederacy of Independent Systems, the freedom fighters of Ryloth? And it made me really think about the sins of the Republic. The Galactic Republic loves to portray itself as a hero, and so does the story. The animated films, the comic books, everything. You see these clone troopers destroying droids, you see them liberating a world. But what exactly did they do? Caused a lot of property damage. Now, I'm not objectifying, saying, "Oh, the Galactic Republic is wrong, 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 wrong." No, they did good stuff too. In their thousands of years of history, they've done good things, like the defeat of the Sith and the outlaw of slavery. But what I want to discuss is the complete incompetence and ineffectiveness of the Galactic Republic. The Galactic Republic functioned more like a family full of, a family, a highly dysfunctional and angry family. The type of family members that you don't usually invite to dinner parties or Christmases or Halloweens. That's the type of family the Republic was. It was a loose federation of many and countless star systems. Now, you'd think a government that big and a republic that big would be competent enough to be able to maintain control of all the systems. Now, I know what you're thinking. Well, you gotta cut them some slack. It's hard to watch over all these systems. I don't want to hear it. In a world where fucking plasma shoots out of a hilt and where you're shooting bolts of plasma at people and you got people lifting shit with their minds, I'm sorry for the language, but I just don't want to hear it. In a universe, in a galaxy, where you could take one ship, go all the way to the other side of the galaxy, just like that. I don't want to hear it. In a place where mortal wounds can be reversed with Bacta, which is the basic medicine in Star Wars. But I don't want to hear it. In Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, when Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi were landing on Tatooine to look for a new hyperdrive generator, they had a conversation with young Anakin's mother. And what she said really stuck in my brain and in my heart. So Padme was addressing, because first I want to start off saying that Anakin's mother and Anakin were both slaves in Hutt space. Slavery to the Hutts, or to Watto, or whoever the hell owned them. But what Anakin's mom said, what Padme said, she said, "I can't believe slavery still exists in the galaxy, the Republic's anti-slavery laws," and Anakin's mother immediately cut off and said, "The Republic doesn't exist out here." Let that sink in. The Republic doesn't exist out here. We could also take another example from Watto himself, the slave owner, the owner of Anakin and Anakin's mother. He said, "Republic credits are no good out here. He needs something more real." That just goes to show the incompetence of the Republic government. Slavery existed. The Outer Rim worlds were often neglected. The resources would be extracted and spent on the inner core worlds, such as Coruscant and countless others. The Outer Rim is basically, think of like the American South after the Civil War. Devastated, poor, burnt to a crisp. That's what the Outer Rim is like. You got the inner worlds, which is like the rich neighborhoods, and then you got the Outer Rim worlds, that's like the projects. Or the bad parts of the neighborhood, where poverty reigns supreme. And then you take the Galactic Empire. You take the Imperial government. They were able to maintain control over all their star systems, minus the rebels.
So, you're thinking about...
That didn't happen. Minus the rebels. The rebellion caused much instability and chaos and unnecessary death that the Galactic Empire tried to avoid. all star systems had a basic life, had fantastic had fantastic order, stability, food, water, housing, jobs, which is important because you need a job to survive. Let's take a sentence from The Bad Batch, and I believe season 1, wherein Crosshair was assigned to the Death Trooper program. Among his comrades were other Death Troopers. One of them said, "I get a roof over my head and a meal on my belly, something the Republic never did for me." Now, I know he's just one person, but remember, the Republic is a galactic government. There are countless worlds that face the same issues, face the same problems, disease, plague, starvation, famine. And the Galactic Civil War didn't necessarily improve their lives either. In fact, it merely made their planets worse. Not just a country, not just a region, a tribe, a planet. A whole planet worse. In the words of Grand Admiral Thrawn, or Grand Moff Tarkin, either one of them said this: the average Imperial citizen doesn't start off their day hearing TIE fighters roar over their heads. Some don't even see stormtroopers. Just because the Galactic Empire owns a planet doesn't mean they have a military presence on there. And what he said just proves that fact, that the Galactic Empire only sent the military where they thought that they needed to be to establish order and stability, like Tatooine. In the words of Obi-Wan Kenobi, renowned Jedi Master, he said, "Mos Eisley, a place with the utmost scum and villainy." Villainy. So, of course, the Galactic Empire would have a presence on a planet so hell-bent on corruption and bounty hunter business, guns for hire, mercenaries, and illegal markets. I'm not going to deny that there's not a black market in the Imperial government. Corruption has its roots everywhere. The Republic was ruled by bureaucrats. It was an aristocracy filled with rich elites that only cared about their pocketbooks. They didn't. In Padme's arc, an episode in the Clone Wars, we see a Kaminoan, whatever the hell they are, long-necked people. One of their senators was pushing for a bill that would approve the production of more clone troopers. Padme was obviously against this because there are people without electricity or basic water, basic baths, basic showers, hygiene on planets. It's a planet-wide scale. Millions of children affected. But why millions? Billions. It's a galaxy. There's countless star systems. Some that aren't even mentioned in the trilogies, in the prequels or sequels or original trilogy, or even animated shows. There's still countless star systems scattered all over the galaxy. And the Galactic Empire provided that hygiene, provided that water, provided that education, provided that stability, and provided that peace. The Galactic Empire waged no war on anyone unless people waged war with them. You can see that the Galactic Empire didn't start this civil war that the Rebel Alliance waged. The Rebel Alliance started attacking Imperial convoys, Imperial villages, Imperial towns, Imperial citizens, Imperial military bases. Attacking random Imperial government officials just for funsies. In the latest episode of The Bad Batch, the second to last, I believe, there was a meeting of Imperial officials, and one of the prominent rebel leaders, I forget his name because I'm bad with names, was placing explosives all around the base. And when confronted by the Bad Batch, because Bad Batch was there to extract information, I don't know what information they need, because I don't know what they were hoping to get from the Empire. There was no war going on. It was still in the early years of the Empire, before the Rebel Alliance was even really strong or even had a foothold. And then he just straight up said, taking out some of their officers are a good start. Man, do you know how many Imperial officers the Empire has? Yeah, we couldn't replace a Tarkin. Tarkin was a renowned, revered, respected Imperial officer of high status, intelligence, and character. Now, this goes to show the bloodlust that the Rebel Alliance had. And a lot of people sit here and point, what about Darth Vader? He killed a bunch of people. Yes, that's what Sith do. The Galactic Empire was not a Sith government. Yes, it had a Sith emperor. But again, most of the Empire was humans, some alien species. They made a few exceptions. And it was just majority people just trying to make their way through the galaxy, bring order and stability, like as promised. And did they not? Did they not? After the Clone Wars and the Galactic Empire took over, you didn't hear one word about separatists. You didn't hear one word about Republic holdouts or Jedi rebellions. Order 66 took care of that. It just baffles me that people are just so stuck to the script and say good guy is when camera focuses on them a lot. Bad guy is when it only shows them killing people. Yes, all governments do bad things. But the Galactic Empire as an idea was purely amazing. It was purely helpful, caring, loving. I mean, you take a government completely about order and stability. Who could go wrong with that? Yes, the Galactic Empire had its bad times. It had its moments. Every government does. For instance, the Galactic Republic had clone soldiers. Now keep in mind, they are real people with souls and a beating heart and blood coursing through their veins, being bred, born, and trained from birth to fight a war for what? For 200 senators that don't give a rat's ass about them? Maybe that's just me. Yes, I know the Republic wasn't aware of the clone army. Obi-Wan Kenobi found it purely on accident. But it's the fact that they took it and used it. Now you might say they had no other choice. Okay, I agree with you there. But they still went through the complete and utter clear decision to produce more. To make more people take up arms and fight for a government that couldn't give rat's ass about it. It just really makes my blood boil a little bit. But I don't get angry. I know the Galactic Empire was in the right, despite its wrongs. And by people's logic, if the Empire does wrong and is bad, so is the Republic. You think in their thousands of years of existence they didn't do anything bad? They launched crusades in the northern part of the galaxy in order to colonize it. Now I know the Empire's not in a good position here. Colonize. Empire, it's in the name. The Empire merely took over what the Republic already controlled. It didn't seek to expand its borders to the outer reaches of the galaxy. It already had all the land it needed. Now, the Rebel Alliance. How exactly, if we read between the lines of the Rebel Alliance, if we take away Luke Skywalker, Leia Organa, Ben Kenobi, Han Solo, Lando Calrissian, Chewbacca, you take away all those heroes, and what are you left with? A group of people that decided to take arms against a well-stable government just because they didn't like some of the rules they had in place, and cause unnecessary death and widespread genocide of Imperial citizens, Imperial buildings, Imperial worlds. And what good came from the fall of the Empire? The New Republic rolled in, and they immediately began de-imperialization, where they took former Imperial officials, whether it was government position or soldiers, they put a red badge on them to make them easily identifiable. Make them easily recognized among the peers, so they know to watch out for the Imperial guy. They put them through a program where it would cause them to renounce their ways and see the true glorious purpose of serving the New Republic. I'd like to point out in an episode of the new season of The Mandalorian, we we check up on an imperial scientist. He has a name. I forgot it. But you know what this new facility does? Because him, along with other Imperials, are processed, given the opportunity to work off their sins for the New Republic government. He has the red thing, like all of them do. You know what they do? They don't use his name. They give him a number. Not only are they dehumanizing him by putting a red badge on him and letting everyone know, oh, he's the Imperial, look out for him. They're not even using his name. Not even using his name. Not at all. Now, if that doesn't bother you, I don't know what will. The fact that they're literally wearing red badges, not given names, and then used like slaves for the New Republic. Or the fact that they have to answer a survey after every day to a robot that would ask them questions like, do you feel anger or resentment to the New Republic or its representatives? That's so China. That is so North Korea. It's not even funny. The Empire didn't have this. They asked for your loyalty. If you didn't give it, then you were disposed of. Fired, of course. Unless you pissed off Vader. Then he'd just kill you. But that's Vader. He didn't operate in the name of the Empire. He operated in the name of himself. Because that's what Sith are. They're selfish. They're individualists. They don't think about the common good or what good will happen. The Sith rely on their emotions. And because of that, they become so emotion-driven that they lose sight of any sort of purpose. They start grasping, and the grasping of whatever pain they can have. Their whole faith is just be miserable, and you'll be powerful. I could be angry right now and be powerful. Everyone gets more stronger when they're angry. It's fact. Or I could be wrong. But the point that I'm trying to make is the Galactic Republic's sins outweigh the sins of the Galactic Empire. The Galactic Empire actually seek to improve the lives of people and citizens, rather than the Republic whose only focus was on the war, at any cost. Whether it be leaving their citizens left behind with no lights, no heat, no air conditioning, no food, no water, no education, they didn't care. They cared about their pocketbooks and the glory of winning this war. But yep, that's all I have to say about that. So, y'all have a good day.